Alright, welcome to Right On with John Crane, and today we are continuing on with the Airstream Makeover. This is the vintage Airstream trailer that I am working on in collaboration with Blackmouth Design. They are a company here on beautiful Bainbridge Island in the great Pacific Northwest. And this is a great project, and I want to dive right into it. But before I do, I just want to say, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment. That'd be great to help out the channel. And if you want to, you can head over to my website, rightonwithjohncrane.com. You can buy a sticker. Sometimes I got other things up there for sale, so check that out. All right, let's dive in. Today I got sandblasting, I got painting, I'm working on the chassis, right? Last episode we separated the shell from the chassis there. Now I'm cleaning that all up and getting that ready. All right, so let's dive into the project. Oh yeah, Spider City back here. All right, I'm gonna go after this right now. See if we can pop this cap off. Now I'm assuming we're gonna need a new drum. We'll redo the bearings. We'll need a whole new brake assembly inside, but there are some parts here that I want to be able to get in there to sandblast, and it's good to get this off right now. Alright, so we got the classic castle nut. I'll pull this cotter pin, and hopefully this is not too tight. Hopefully somebody didn't, jam it on there. Sometimes even just hand tight. This one doesn't seem too bad. Seems like there's a little bit of play. What do we got? We got a wasp nest in there and all kinds of spiders. Here's the electromagnetic brake here. That looks to be in pretty bad shape. There we go. But now I can tape all this off, clean all this up, with the sandblasting. All right, time to move on to the other side. All right, I covered this shaft with some paper towel, wrapped some tape around it, and I just sewed these guys up here. This is, the fire hose. It's got rubber in the center. So I'm just gonna put these to here just to protect all this from the sandblasting. It's critical that this doesn't get hit with any kind of abrasive. It's amazing how an old sloppy weld can hold on that strong. Look at these beads just globbed in there, right? This is probably somebody laying on their back, right? In some driveway after a couple beers, get the stick welder out and get under there and glob something in there. But right, it held all these years, even just globbed in there, the old bird do weld. And speaking of welding, old two-phone Tony stopped by here at the shop real quick just to drop off a beam that he salvaged from a job, and I am going to use this for a gantry in my shop. All right, thanks a lot, Tony. Back to work. About halfway through the process here. This blasting setup is working out great. Got the big diesel compressor. I got the blasting pot here. So I'm gonna keep moving along here. Well, I'll show you a couple of the items here. All right, here's the big diesel compressor. And we're running here at about 125 PSI. Air comes out right here. Make sure you put this tie wire in here when you hook up these wires, and there's a little hole there, and it's good to put them through both holes. If you've ever seen one of these whipping around a job site, it can be quite nasty. A thing's whipping around like a mad snake. So be sure to put the tie wire in there, and then we get the hose runs over here to the blast pot. Right, same thing, we got a couple pieces of tie wire there. Here's the hopper where we pour the sand into the top. We got our black diamond coal slag abrasive. I'm using a fine abrasive, right? There's some different adjustment on this. You can adjust this right here, and this will adjust about how much abrasive comes out. I like it a little bit finer, so I'm not just blasting through all the abrasive quickly. And then we got right here, we have the the nozzle for blasting, and I'm about halfway through right now, and this is just looking dynamite. It's coming out great. Obviously there's some pieces on here that I'm going to cut off later and replace with some new steel, but I'm going to keep rocking and rolling here. This is just awesome. All right, right on. All right, I just returned the sandblaster, and that was a great thing to rent. That was awesome for this process here. Now it's time to clean this up. I'm gonna go around with the flapper wheel, cut off some things. There's some parts, like this part right here. Some of these are not salvageable, and I'm gonna cut these off and weld some new pieces on. But for the most part, now I'm just gonna clean up some of the rough edges here and there. Cut off little things like this, and then just tune this up before paint. I like using these flapper discs, and check out these. Look how thick this is. I'm just trying this one out here for the first time, but see how tall the flaps are. Some of my experience though is that only the top of this wears out, and you never work your way down into those flaps. I'm gonna see how this one works out. All right, it's a nice sunny day here in the Pacific Northwest, and I am ready to paint this chassis. Now what I want to do is I just want to get a coat of paint on this so this thing doesn't rust away. I got some rain in the forecast coming up in the next couple days, so I just want to get a coat on here just to prevent the rust from taking off. But I am going to come back and cut off parts like this. I'll have to grind off the paint and weld those in, but I don't want to be doing all that welding and that work while the other stuff is rusting away. So here's the product I'm going to be using here. This is POR 15 Rust Preventative, and it sticks really well to sandblasted coating. It wants a rough surface to stick to. It sticks over rust. I think the POR 15 is paint over rust, and it's supposed to give it a nice, hard, durable finish. And then you put a top coat over the top of that if it's going to be exposed to UV, which the majority of this trailer will not be exposed to UV. A little bit here up at the front and in the back of the bumper, and some of this, like this step right here. So I just got off the website, and it says I do not need their metal prep for putting this over sandblasted metal. If it was smooth, then I would need their metal prep product that you brush on and then you hose off. So that's nice that I don't have to do that. So I'm gonna blow this off with the air gun, and then I'm gonna get the brush out and I'm gonna put this POR 15. I think the deal is that you wanna use the entire can. You don't wanna expose this to moisture. It sets up with moisture in the air. So, all right, I'm stoked. All right, folks, I am really happy with the way this paint job turned out. This POR 15 paint is just amazing. If you haven't used it, go out and get yourself a can of it and check it out. It's great. And I want to thank you for coming along on this Airstream Makeover journey with me. And be sure to tune in to the next episode where I go over the VIN number on this. I actually found a VIN number stamped into the tongue of the trailer, and it actually isn't a 1959 Airstream at all. What year do you think it is? Well, tune in next week and we'll go over that. All right, right on. Hope you guys are great, and I'll see you all soon. Right on.